Okay. So, um, hmm, I don't really know why I'm doing this. Recording. I mean, uh, I'm just talking into my phone like an idiot in a house I've never been in before, in a town I've never been to before, and I honestly couldn't tell you what the point is. I'm not someone who journals. I'm not someone who processes out loud. This is a little embarrassing, actually, if I'm being honest. I keep thinking about what I would say if someone found this, like if a person actually listened to this. I think maybe I just need to hear something that isn't this house. It's quiet here in a way that kind of gets in your head, like the quiet has weight to it. And there's nobody to call right now, nobody who would really get it. So here I am, talking to my phone in an empty house. Great. So my name's just what the hell? Why am I introducing myself? That's stupid. They know who I am. It's not important. Oh God. Yeah. Well, what's important is about 2 weeks ago, I got a call from an attorney in a town called Harlan's Creek, which is about 4 hours from where I live. Small place. The kind of town you pass through on the way to somewhere else and don't think about it again. The attorney told me my uncle had passed away and that I was the sole beneficiary of his estate. Yeah, I didn't know what to say to that. I barely knew my uncle. His name was Raymond. Um, he was my dad's older brother, and there was also my aunt, Carol, my dad's younger sister. The three of them grew up right here in Harlan's Creek. And at some point, Raymond just stopped calling, stopped showing up. My dad and Carol kept in touch with each other their whole lives, and Raymond was a different thing entirely. From what little I've been able to piece together, he started pulling back in his late 20s, early 30s, maybe. Just slowly stopped being a part of things. Missed one Christmas, then another. Didn't show up to my grandparents' funerals. My dad tried for a while, I think. Uh, I know Carol tried longer. At some point, they just stopped trying. That's how my dad put it once. The one time I actually heard him mention Raymond, he said, at some point, you stop trying. And then he changed the subject, and that was that. Raymond was the uncle who didn't come to things, the uncle who wasn't there. My dad passed 4 years ago, so I couldn't ask him. So I decided to call Carol before I drove out here. Asked if she could fill in any gaps. She was quiet for a second, and then she said she really couldn't explain it. She said Raymond was just a closed door. That's the phrase she used, a closed door. She said there was no fight, no big falling out that she could point to, or nothing like that. He just got quieter and quieter over the years, and then one day he was gone. She said she wrote to him a few times in the 90s, and he wrote back short letters, polite, just enough to let her know he was still alive. And then even that stopped. I asked if she knew he'd gone back to Harlan's Creek, back to where they grew up, and she said she didn't know that until I told her just now. She went quiet again after that, and I didn't push. So I drove out to Harlan's Creek, signed some paperwork, and got the keys to his house. Sarah called on the way to make sure I had made it okay, and man, I don't know what I did to deserve her. I mean, I'm lucky to have her. I should have asked her if she wanted to come along on this trip. Eh. Anyway, the house is fine. I want to say that up front because I know how these things sound. And yeah, it's a normal single story house on a normal street. 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, a small kitchen, a living room with with wood paneling that hasn't been updated since I'm guessing 1987. it, It smells like dust and old paper and something faintly chemical like mothballs or old cleaning products. Nothing crazy or dramatic. The neighbors, though, the neighbors are genuinely kind. There's a woman across the street named Pat who waved at me the second I pulled up, like she'd been keeping an eye out. She brought over a casserole that evening without me asking, just knocked on the door and handed it over and said to let her know if I needed anything. She said Raymond kept to himself but was never any trouble. Said it warmly, not like a criticism or anything, like she was doing right by him even now. Yeah, and the town is not actually what I expected, if I'm being honest, in a good way. There's a little main street with a diner that has those spinning counter stools and a hand lettered special board in the window. A hardware store that looks like it's been there since before I was born. Um, there's a small library with a little flower bed out front. And a Baptist church right down Main Street when you come into the town proper. It has one of those marquee signs, the kind with the movable letters, and someone had put "Welcome Home" on it, which was probably just for a congregation member or something. But still, it felt like that kind of place, the kind of place where people actually mean it when they smile and say hi to you. There's one thing I keep coming back to, and I feel kind of dumb even bringing it up because I'm sure there's a perfectly reasonable explanation for it, but all of the mirrors in the house are covered up. Not broken or taken down, just covered. There's a towel tacked over the bathroom one. The bedroom door mirror has a piece of cardboard duct taped to it, and the little round one in the hallway has a pillowcase over it tied off in the back. It's it's just a weird thing to notice, like, okay, maybe he didn't like mirrors. Maybe it's a religious thing or a privacy thing, or he just never got around to dealing with them. I don't know. I'm not trying to make it into something. It's just sitting in the back of my head is all. I haven't taken any of them down. I keep meaning to, and then just not doing it. I'm sure it's nothing. Uh, anyway, so today I started going through his belongings, and there's a lot of it. He was a collector, I think is a polite word to use. Yeah, boxes stacked in the second bedroom, floor to ceiling. More in the closets, bags and crates in the garage, books mostly, and papers, and just stuff, old stuff, the kind of things people hold on to for reasons that die with them. I've been going through it methodically, box by box, and most of it's what you'd expect: old bills, newspaper clippings, a coffee can full of rubber bands that have all fused together, a tackle box with no fishing gear in it, just change and a broken watch. Late this afternoon, I got into a box at the bottom of one of those stacks. It was sealed with tape that had gone yellow and brittle, and inside was mostly old clothes. And underneath the clothes, wrapped in a piece of flannel like someone had packed it carefully, was a journal. Small thing, brown cover, the cardboard kind with the marbled pattern, the kind kids used for school in the 70s and 80s. No name on the outside. I almost set it aside with everything else, but I opened it. The handwriting inside was a kid's handwriting, small and careful. The letters a little too deliberate, the way kids write when they're trying to do it right. Inside the front cover, in that same careful hand, was Raymond E. Marsh, age 9. So I sat down on the floor on that bedroom, surrounded by his boxes, and I started reading. Most of it so far is what you'd expect from a 9-year-old kid: school, a friend named Dougie, his bicycle, normal stuff. But I want to read you the third entry because it's the one I've been sitting with tonight. So let's see. Here we go. um, September 14th. Today was good. Me and Dougie rode bikes after school all the way to the gas station and back. Mom said dinner was at 6, and we made it back in time so I didn't get in trouble. We saw a dog on Pruitt Street that was just sitting in the road. It wasn't hurt or anything. It was just sitting there, looking at something. We waited for it to move, but it didn't, so we went around. Mom made spaghetti. I had 2 bowls. I don't know whose dog it was. It was looking at an empty lot on Pruitt. There wasn't anything there. I don't know what it was looking at. Dougie didn't say anything about it either. Like I said, mostly normal. He was 9. Kids notice things and write them down, and that's all it probably is. I just keep thinking about that dog, you know, sitting in the middle of the road, staring at nothing. Eh, it's late. I'm gonna keep going through the boxes tomorrow, and I'll record again when I have something worth saying.